Welcome to Echoes Untold, where history whispers and we listen.
Today, we unravel the tragic and ironic tale of the USS Tullibee, SS 284, a submarine lost in World War II due to one of the most heartbreaking twists of fate in naval history. The Tullibee was a deadly force in the Pacific, striking at the heart of Japan's supply lines. But on one fateful night in 1944, an attack that should have been a routine success turned into a disaster when a malfunctioning torpedo sealed the vessel's doom. This is the story of its final patrol and the lone survivor who lived to tell the tale. If you love history's hidden stories, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to help us keep these echoes of the past alive. Now, let's set sail into this incredible yet tragic chapter of World War II. During World War II, the U.S. Navy's submarines played a crucial role in crippling the Japanese war effort. Dubbed the silent service, these vessels operated beneath the waves, striking enemy ships without warning and slipping away undetected. American submarines were responsible for sinking more than half of Japan's merchant fleet, cutting off crucial supplies and weakening its military infrastructure. The USS Tullibee, SS 284, was one of these silent hunters. A Gato-class submarine, she was built for stealth and power, armed with 10 torpedo tubes and a deck gun. Commissioned on February 15, 1943, at Mare Island Navy Yard, she was assigned to the Pacific Fleet under the command of Lieutenant Commander Charles F. Brindubke. The Tullibee embarked on multiple war patrols, operating deep in enemy-controlled waters. She had already seen action in the Pacific, attacking Japanese ships in dangerous, high-risk engagements. By early 1944, the submarine had completed 3 successful patrols and was prepared for her 4th, which would turn out to be her last. On March 5, 1944, the USS Tullibee left Pearl Harbor, setting a course toward the Palau Islands, an area heavily patrolled by Japanese forces. The mission was clear: intercept and destroy enemy convoys supplying Japan's war machine. For weeks, the Tullibee prowled the Pacific, searching for enemy vessels. Then, on the night of March 26, 1944, she made contact. A Japanese convoy was moving through the area, escorted by heavily armed warships. It was the perfect opportunity for the Tullibee to strike. At approximately 11:08 p.m., Lieutenant Commander Brindubke ordered his crew to prepare for attack. The Tullibee maneuvered into firing position, carefully lining up its target. The crew held their breath as torpedoes were fired into the darkness. But then, disaster struck. Instead of slamming into the enemy ships, one of the Tullibee's own torpedoes made a deadly circular run, a malfunction that caused it to loop back toward its launcher. Before the crew could react, the torpedo struck the submarine's hull, detonating in a massive explosion. The blast ripped through the Tullibee's structure. Water rushed in as the submarine was torn apart from within. The crew had no time to escape as the vessel plunged into the ocean depths, swallowed by the very weapon it had launched. Of the 80 men aboard, only 1 survived. Thrown from the deck by the force of the explosion, gunner's mate Second Class Clifford E. Kuykendall found himself alone in the cold, dark waters. Dazed and disoriented, he watched as the Tullibee disappeared beneath the waves. For hours, Kuykendall drifted in the Pacific, clinging to debris. As dawn broke, he was spotted, not by American rescuers, but by a Japanese patrol vessel. Pulled from the sea, he was taken captive, marking the beginning of a long and brutal ordeal as a prisoner of war. Kuykendall was interrogated and transported to a prison camp in Japan, where he endured months of starvation, forced labor, and mistreatment. Like many Allied POWs, he suffered immensely, but he survived. In August 1945, after Japan's surrender, he was finally liberated. He returned home as the sole witness to the USS Tullibee's final moments. His testimony, given after the war, confirmed that the submarine had been sunk by its own torpedo, an unimaginable irony in the heat of battle. The sinking of the USS Tullibee highlights a critical flaw in early World War II torpedoes. During the first years of the war, the Mark 14 torpedo, used by U.S. submarines, was notorious for malfunctions, premature detonations, and circular runs. By 1943, the U.S. Navy had begun fixing these issues, but some defective torpedoes still remained in circulation, one of which likely doomed the Tullibee. The loss of the USS Tullibee was a painful reminder of the dangers faced by submarine crews in World War II. These men operated in extreme conditions, knowing that a single mistake, or a single faulty torpedo, could mean death. Today, the Tullibee's name lives on. In 1960, a new submarine, the USS Tullibee, SSN 597, was commissioned in honor of the lost vessel and its crew. Kuykendall's survival story remains one of the most incredible tales of the war, and the Tullibee's fate is still studied as a case of tragic irony in naval warfare. The story of USS Tullibee is one of bravery, sacrifice, and the unpredictable nature of war. It reminds us of the hidden dangers lurking beneath the surface, both in battle and in history itself. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Echoes Untold, where history whispers, and we listen. Also, drop a comment below and let us know which forgotten chapter of history you'd like us to explore next. Fact check note: the details in this video are based on official US Navy records, survivor testimony from Clifford Kuykendall, and historical sources such as the Naval History and Heritage Command and the book Silent Victory: The U.S. Submarine War Against Japan by Clay Blair.